All right, so we're diving deep into longevity today, and you sent us a ton of material on Dr. Peter Attia and his book, Outlive, The Science and Art of Longevity.
Yeah.
And, it's clear that you're not just interested in living longer,
Right.
but living better.
Get back.
And that's exactly what we're going to unpack together today.
Sounds good.
So, one of the things that I found so fascinating about Attia's approach is that he kind of challenges the very foundation of how we think about, health and aging.
Yeah, he really does.
And, he argues that modern medicine, while incredibly effective at treating, acute problems,
Right.
is actually failing us when it comes to these chronic diseases that really, kind of chip away at our quality of life as we get older.
Yeah, I do.
It's almost like we're playing whack-a-mole with our health.
I like
We're
her.
waiting for these problems to pop up
Waiting for them to appear.
before we address them.
Yeah, exactly.
Attia calls this medicine 2.0, and he makes a really compelling case for this shift to what he calls medicine 3.0,
Yeah.
this proactive approach that focuses on, preventing those problems from arising in the first place.
I agree. It's like steering the Titanic away from an iceberg
Oh, yeah. He uses that analogy.
when it's already a mile away,
That's a good one.
and by the time we detect them, the damage is often already done.
Yeah, that's a really scary thought.
It is.
And, he gets really specific about, the threats that we need to be aware of.
Yeah.
He outlines what he calls the 4 horsemen of aging:
Right.
cardiovascular disease, cancer, neurodegenerative diseases, and metabolic
Oh,
diseases.
that's a big one.
I know now. And when I hear 4 horsemen, I think apocalypse.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Yeah.
Attia's point is that, these aren't just these abstract concepts.
Right.
They're real forces
Yeah.
that can, kind of steal our health and independence if we're
Yes.
not, paying attention.
Although we're not being proactive.
Exactly.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is he doesn't treat these horsemen as separate entities.
Yeah, that's really fascinating.
He connects them all, highlighting the role of metabolic disease as a key driver of the other 3.
Oh, wow.
Think of it as the gasoline poured on the fire.
That's a great analogy.
If we can get our metabolic health in check, we can significantly reduce our risk of heart disease, cancer, and neurodegenerative conditions.
So it's really all about the foundation.
It is.
It's like building a house on sand versus building a house on rock.
Exactly. You got it.
So, for you, the listener out there,
Right.
what this really means is, understanding your own metabolic health is crucial.
Yes.
Are you pre-diabetic?
Right.
Or insulin resistant?
Are you taking care of yourself?
Do you have high blood pressure?
You can test it regularly.
Or cholesterol?
These are all early warning signs that we need to be paying attention to.
And Attia doesn't just, throw these terms around.
No.
He explains them in a way that makes sense,
He does.
He wants you to understand the science behind these conditions
Right.
so that you can make informed decisions about your health.
It's about empowering the patient,
Yeah, absolutely.
giving them the knowledge to take control.
One of the things that really stood out to me was his discussion of cholesterol,
Oh, yeah.
particularly this marker called ApoB.
ApoB. Yeah.
And he argues that ApoB is a far more accurate indicator of cardiovascular risk than the traditional LDL cholesterol that we're all used to hearing about.
That's right.
It's almost like counting the actual number of enemy ships rather than just estimating their size.
That's a great way to put it.
And he really, kind of debunks some of these myths surrounding cholesterol and saturated fat.
Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation out there.
Well, some people can tolerate higher amounts of saturated fat without seeing, a negative impact on their ApoB levels.
Right.
Others experience a significant increase.
Huge increase.
So it's really a reminder that, we're all unique.
We are all individuals.
And what works for one person may not work for another.
Exactly. We need personalized medicine.
He even talks about, this particularly nasty type of cholesterol particle called LPA,
Oh, yeah. That one's a troublemaker.
which is largely genetically determined.
Right.
So, knowing your LPA levels can be really crucial
Absolutely crucial for understanding your risk.
for understanding your risk and taking preventative measures.
Preventative measures are key.
And speaking of preventative measures, Attia is a strong advocate for utilizing advanced testing,
Yeah, he's not afraid of technology.
like CT angiograms,
Mhm.
to assess cardiovascular health.
Yeah, I mean, these scans can provide invaluable insights into the state of our arteries.
It's better to know than not know.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power.
So we can make informed decisions about lifestyle changes or even medication if necessary.
And potentially avoid a major cardiac event down the road.
It's a proactive approach rather than waiting for, a heart attack to happen
Exactly.
before taking action.
Prevention is key.
And he applies this same proactive thinking to cancer screening,
Right.
particularly for breast cancer.
Yeah, he's got some interesting views on that.
He argues that for women with an average lifetime risk, the benefits of regular mammograms.
Especially when combined with ultrasounds or MRIs, really outweigh the potential downsides.
He also highlights the potential of liquid biopsies.
Like the Drail test.
Yeah, for early cancer detection.
Early detection is everything.
Emphasizing that catching cancer in its earliest stages is crucial.
Absolutely crucial for successful treatment.
So again, it's about, being proactive.
Being proactive and informed.
And, this is where medical literacy becomes so important.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Attia really emphasizes this throughout the book.
He does. He wants people to be educated.
He wants people to, develop a basic understanding of medical concepts and research.
So they can navigate all the information out there.
So they can navigate, the often conflicting information about health and longevity.
Right, because there's a lot of noise out there.
And make informed decisions.
Informed decisions based on science.
It's about becoming an active participant in your own healthcare.
Right, not just a passive recipient.
Rather than just a passive recipient.
Exactly, taking ownership of your health.
And Attia provides a framework for doing just that in Outlive.
He gives you the tool.
And it's not all about, tests and scans.
Right.
Attia is a huge proponent of lifestyle interventions,
Lifestyle is the foundation.
particularly exercise,
Exercise is key.
which he calls the single most powerful drug we have.
I love that quote.
And, he's not just talking about hitting the gym a couple times a week.
No, he gets very specific.
He gets really specific about the types and intensity of exercise
Yeah, he's all about the details.
that yield the greatest benefits.
Yeah.
Emphasizing the importance of building this solid foundation of strength and stamina,
Especially as we age.
especially as we age.
Because that's when it really matters.
He even highlights a measure called VO2 max,
Ah, VO2 max, a great indicator of fitness.
which reflects our peak aerobic capacity
Our body's ability to use oxygen.
as a key predictor of longevity.
And studies have shown a huge difference in mortality risk between those with high versus low VO2 max.
It's incredible.
It is a massive difference.
It's like 400% difference.
It's like quitting smoking and getting fit all in one.
One thing that struck me about Attia's approach to exercise is that, he doesn't make it sound like a chore.
Right.
He seems genuinely enthusiastic about it.
Oh, he loves it.
And he encourages people to find activities that they enjoy and can sustain over the long term.
Yeah, find something you love and stick with it.
He's a big believer in rucking,
Rucking. What's that?
walking with a weighted backpack,
Oh, interesting.
as a way to build strength and endurance
Makes sense.
without the impact of running.
Yeah, that's smart.
And, he even does it himself.
He practices what he preaches.
Yeah, he's not just talking about it, he's actually doing it.
That's inspiring.
And he talks about setting ambitious goals,
Like what?
like aiming for the elite VO2 max level for his age group.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's inspiring to see someone, so dedicated to pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah, he's a true pioneer,
When it comes to health and longevity,
leading the way.
it's a reminder that, we can all strive to be better, fitter versions of ourselves,
Absolutely.
regardless of our age or starting point.
It's never too late to start.
And that's a message I think we could all use a little more of these days.
I agree, a message of hope and empowerment, that we have the power to shape our own health destiny.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot more to cover.
We've got a lot more to uncover and outlive.
Stay tuned.
Stay with us.
And it's not just about physical health. Attia doesn't neglect the importance of emotional well-being,
Right.
something that's often overlooked in, discussions about longevity.
Yeah, he dedicates a whole chapter in Outlive to, the high price of ignoring emotional health. And it's a real eye-opener.
It is.
He argues that our mental and emotional state has a profound impact on our physical health and longevity.
Oh, absolutely.
We often compartmentalize these things.
We do.
But Attia really emphasizes, the interconnectedness of it all.
Yeah, he's very holistic in his approach.
One of the most fascinating parts of that chapter is how he kind of opens up about his own struggles with anger.
Oh, yeah, he gets really personal.
He talks about this inner critic he calls Coach Knight, after the, notoriously intense basketball coach.
Right, Bobby Knight.
Yeah, that would just berate him for, even minor mistakes.
I think we all have a little bit of coach night in us.
I know I do.
That inner critic that can be so harsh.
Yeah, it's almost like we're our own worst enemies sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
But what's really interesting is that Attia realized that, this harsh self-criticism
Yeah.
wasn't making him a better person.
It wasn't helping.
In fact, it was actually fueling more anger and frustration in his relationships with others.
So it was spilling over into his interactions with the people he cared about.
Exactly.
That's not good.
So, it wasn't just an internal struggle. It was actually impacting his relationships.
Right. It was affecting his whole life.
And, what did he do about it?
Well, he came up with this interesting technique.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly simple but effective.
What did he do?
Whenever that critical voice would start up, he would record a voice memo to his therapist,
Oh, wow.
expressing all his frustrations and self-judgment.
Wait, so he was like sending voice memos to his therapist in the heat of the moment.
Well, not exactly mid-rant.
Okay.
The key was to detach the behavior,
Right.
the outburst, from the urge to express it.
So instead of unleashing on someone,
Right.
he would step away
Take a moment.
and record that message to his therapist.
Get it all out.
It's almost like he was, preempting that negative spiral
Yeah.
by giving himself a safe space to vent.
Exactly, a healthy outlet.
That's clever.
It is.
So it wasn't about suppressing the emotions,
No.
but finding a healthier way to express them.
Right. More constructive approach.
Did he find that, recording those messages actually changed the way he thought about his mistakes
He did.
or just how he reacted to them?
According to Attia, both.
Oh, wow.
He says after a few months, he noticed he wasn't hearing that critical voice as often or as intensely.
That's amazing.
And even when he did mess up, he was able to approach it with more self-compassion.
So it really did change his thinking.
It shifted his perspective.
It's a powerful example of how changing our inner dialogue can have a ripple effect on our relationships and overall well-being.
Absolutely. Our thoughts create our reality.
It's a good reminder that cultivating emotional resilience is just as important as building physical strength.
I agree. We need to tend to both our mental and physical health.
And, Attia doesn't just focus on the negative aspects of emotional health. He also talks about the importance of, cultivating a sense of purpose and meaning in our lives.
Yeah. Finding our why.
He argues that, having something to look forward to, something that gives us a reason to get out of bed in the morning is crucial.
It is, especially as we age.
Especially as we age.
It gives us that drive and motivation.
For maintaining, our motivation and zest for life.
Yeah, that spark that keeps us going.
He even has us, envision what we want our marginal decade to look like.
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
Those final 10 years of life.
Yeah, it makes you think.
It's a thought-provoking exercise that forces us to confront our own mortality and ask ourselves,
What really matters?
what truly matters?
What do we want to leave behind?
What we want our legacy to be?
It's a powerful question.
I think a lot of people, shy away from those kinds of questions.
They do. It can be uncomfortable.
But Attia encourages us to lean into them.
Yeah, to face them head on.
He acknowledges that, our physical and cognitive abilities will inevitably decline as we get older.
That's just part of life.
But he believes we can slow that decline
And maintain a high quality of life.
and maintain a high quality of life for much longer than most people realize.
That's the goal.
And that's where all the other pieces of his longevity puzzle come in.
Right.
Exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress management,
All the things we've been talking about.
and even hormone optimization.
He takes a very holistic approach.
Speaking of hormones, Attia delves into some pretty controversial territory there.
Yeah, he does.
Particularly when it comes to hormone replacement therapy.
HRT, a hot topic.
He challenges conventional wisdom,
He's not afraid to go against the grain.
especially around HRT for women,
Yeah, he has some strong opinions on that.
arguing that the risks have been overblown.
And the potential benefits overlooked.
And the potential benefits, especially for women experiencing severe menopausal symptoms, are often overlooked.
Exactly. He believes it can be a game changer for some women.
But isn't there still a lot of debate about, the long-term safety of hormone replacement,
There is.
especially for women?
It's a complex issue.
It seems like every few years a new study comes out with, conflicting results.
Yeah, the research is ongoing.
So it's hard to know what to believe.
It is. But Attia's point is that we need to move beyond blanket statements
Okay.
and look at personalized approaches.
So tailoring hormone regimens to individual needs
Exactly.
and carefully monitoring for potential side effects.
Right. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
He also doesn't shy away from discussing testosterone replacement therapy for men.
Yeah, he covers that as well.
acknowledging both the potential benefits and risks.
It's all about weighing the pros and cons.
So, it's not about blindly following trends
Yeah.
or taking this one-size-fits-all approach,
Right.
but about having, open and honest conversations with your doctor.
And making informed decisions.
Making informed decisions based on your individual
That's
circumstances.
exactly. Personalized medicine.
I think that's a message that resonates throughout the entire book.
It does. It's a theme that runs throughout Outlive.
It's about empowering the patient
Giving them the knowledge and tools
to take control of their health.
and become active participants in their own care.
And, it's not just about hormones.
Right.
He's also a proponent of using tools like continuous glucose monitors.
CGMs, yeah.
Even for people who don't have diabetes.
That's an interesting one.
Most people associate CGMs with diabetes management.
They do.
But Attia argues that they can provide valuable insights into how our bodies respond to different foods, exercise, and even stress,
Yeah, it's fascinating.
helping us to make healthier choices and optimize our metabolic health.
Regardless of whether we have diabetes or not.
He's even said he was surprised by how certain foods he thought were healthy
Really?
were actually spiking his blood sugar when he started wearing a CGM.
That's interesting.
It's a great example of how technology can empower us to take control of our health
Yeah, it gives us data and feedback.
by seeing how our blood sugar fluctuates in real time.
We can make adjustments.
We can make adjustments to our diet and lifestyle.
That can have a significant impact.
That can have a significant impact on our metabolic health.
And potentially prevent chronic diseases down the road.
And, when you think about it, it makes sense.
It does.
Our blood sugar levels are constantly fluctuating throughout the day.
They are.
And those fluctuations can have long-term consequences for our health.
Yeah, they can.
By understanding how different foods and activities affect our blood sugar,
We can make better choices.
we can make more informed choices that can help us stay healthier longer.
Exactly. It's all about knowledge and awareness.
Attia even suggests that managing blood sugar fluctuations may be more important than just focusing on average blood glucose levels,
Interesting.
especially when it comes to preventing long-term health consequences,
Like what?
like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even Alzheimer's.
Wow, that's a big one.
So it's about being proactive,
And taking a nuanced approach.
taking a more nuanced approach to managing our metabolic health.
It's not just about avoiding diabetes.
It's about optimizing our blood sugar control for overall health and longevity.
Right, it's a holistic approach.
And that proactive approach is a key theme throughout Attia's work.
It is. He's all about prevention.
He challenges us to move beyond the wait-and-see mentality of traditional medicine
Right.
and become active participants in our own health journey.
Take charge of your health.
I think that's a powerful message,
It is.
and it really speaks to Attia's overall philosophy.
What's that?
He wants us to understand that we have more control over our health and longevity
Again, we often realize.
than we often realize.
That's empowering.
And it's not just about living longer.
Right.
It's about living better.
Exactly. Quality of life.
He wants us to live those extra years with vitality purpose
And the ability to enjoy life.
and the ability to enjoy all that life has to offer.
That's what it's all about.
And that brings us to another crucial piece of the puzzle:
What's that?
nutrition.
Oh, yes, food.
There's so much conflicting information out there about what to eat.
There is. It's overwhelming.
Attia cuts through the noise and presents a really clear and compelling approach.
I agree. He simplifies things.
He eschews fad diets and restrictive eating plans,
Yeah, he's not about deprivation.
advocating instead for a deep understanding of nutritional biochemistry.
He wants us to understand the science.
He's not about counting calories
Or demonizing specific foods.
or demonizing specific foods. He wants us to understand how different nutrients interact with our individual metabolisms.
And make choices that support our unique needs.
It's refreshing to hear someone talk about nutrition in a way that isn't overly restrictive or dogmatic.
I agree. It's a balanced approach.
He emphasizes the importance of protein,
Protein, yeah.
particularly as we age,
For building and maintaining muscle,
for maintaining muscle mass and preventing frailty,
which is a major concern as we get older.
which is a major concern for a lot of older adults. And he challenges the notion that we need to consume massive amounts of protein to reap the benefits.
Yeah, you don't need to go overboard.
He advocates for finding the right balance,
Moderation is key.
tailoring protein intake to our individual activity levels, goals, and metabolic needs.
So it's personalized, again.
He also talks about the importance of healthy fats,
Healthy fats, yeah.
but he's not on board with The butter is back craze that seems to have taken hold in recent years.
I know that's a popular trend.
He's very clear about differentiating between types of fats.
Like what?
He highlights the benefits of monounsaturated fats,
Olive oil, avocados, nuts.
like those found in olive oil, avocados, and nuts, while cautioning against the overconsumption of saturated fats.
Especially for those with elevated ApoB levels.
And what about carbs?
Oh, carbs, the great debate.
It seems like everyone's either on a low-carb diet or loading up on bread and pasta.
It's confusing.
Where does Attia stand on all that?
Well, he acknowledges that carbs can be a valuable source of energy, but emphasizes the need to choose complex carbohydrates
Over refined sugars.
over refined sugars and to be mindful of portion sizes.
So it's not about eliminating carbs altogether.
No, it's about making smarter choices.
He's especially critical of fructose-sweetened beverages,
Soda, sugary drinks.
calling them a major contributor to metabolic dysfunction,
Yeah, those are really bad for you.
and urging us to eliminate them from our diets altogether.
That's a tough one.
I know I love my soda.
But he makes a strong case for why they're so detrimental to our health.
You know, it's interesting how he ties it back to that whole metabolic health picture we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, it all comes full circle.
It really highlights how everything is connected.
Absolutely. Our bodies are complex systems
It's about understanding the bigger picture,
and making choices that support our overall health and longevity.
not just chasing short-term satisfaction.
All right, it's a long game.
And, you know, one of the things I appreciate about Attia's approach is that he encourages experimentation.
Oh yeah, he's all about self-experimentation.
He suggests using tools like CGMs to see how our blood sugar responds to different meals,
Yeah, track your data.
gaining valuable insights into our individual metabolic responses.
Ooh, what works for you?
It's about moving beyond the one-size-fits-all mentality of diet culture
Right.
and embracing a personalized approach,
That aligns with our individual needs and goals.
and finding an eating pattern that is both enjoyable and sustainable over the long term.
Exactly. It has to be something you can stick with.
It's not about deprivation or restriction,
No.
but rather about making informed choices
That nourish our bodies.
that nourish our bodies and support our overall health and well-being.
And make us feel good.
And speaking of nourishment, we can't forget about sleep.
Sleep, the foundation of good health.
Attia dedicates a significant portion of Outlive to discussing the importance of sleep
He does. He emphasizes it a lot.
for our physical, mental, and emotional well-being.
Sleep affects everything.
You know, for a long time, I thought of sleep as something I could sacrifice.
Yeah, we all do that sometimes.
You know, I'd stay up late working or watching TV and tell myself I'd catch up on the weekends.
But you can't really catch up on sleep.
But Attia really drives home the point that sleep is not just about resting our bodies,
It's so much more than that.
but a vital process
That allows our brains to recharge.
that allows our brains to consolidate memories, clear out toxins, and repair cellular damage.
It's essential for optimal function.
He debunks the myth that we can catch up on sleep,
Yeah, that's a fallacy.
emphasizing the importance of establishing a consistent sleep schedule
Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day.
and prioritizing quality sleep every night.
Make sleep a priority.
And, you know, he's not just talking about getting enough hours of sleep.
Right.
He talks about the different stages of sleep,
Deep sleep
REM sleep.
and how they contribute to our overall health.
Each stage has a specific purpose.
He explained how deep sleep is crucial for physical recovery.
Yeah, that's when our bodies repair themselves.
And REM sleep is essential for emotional processing and memory consolidation. It's like our brains are working overtime while we sleep.
It makes you realize just how much is happening while we're asleep
It's incredible.
and how important it is to get enough of all the different stages of sleep.
Absolutely. We need all of them.
And let's not forget the negative impacts of sleep deprivation.
Oh, yeah, those are serious.
We're not just talking about feeling tired and groggy.
No, it goes way beyond that.
Chronic sleep deprivation can lead to impaired cognitive function,
Brain fog,
mood swings,
irritability,
increased risk of chronic diseases,
heart disease, diabetes.
and even accelerated aging.
It's like aging yourself prematurely.
What's interesting is that even Attia, with all his knowledge and dedication to health, admits to struggling with sleep.
Really, even he has trouble sleeping.
He shares how he used to be obsessed with tracking his sleep data
Oh, yeah, he's a data guy.
and would get anxious about any deviations from the norm.
I can relate to that.
He realized that this hyper-focus on data was actually counterproductive,
It was stressing him out.
increasing his stress levels and interfering with his sleep quality.
So it was a vicious cycle.
So he made a conscious decision to step back from the data
Yeah, sometimes less is more.
and focus on cultivating healthy sleep habits.
Takeaway.
and trusting his body's natural rhythms.
That's wise.
It's a good reminder that sometimes we need to disconnect from the
And
technology
reconnect with ourselves.
and that sometimes less is more.
Absolutely.
He encourages us to view sleep as an investment in our health and longevity,
Yeah, it's not a luxury. It's a necessity.
not just something we have to do to function.
Right. It's crucial for optimal performance.
It's about prioritizing rest and rejuvenation,
Recharge and renew.
allowing our bodies and minds to recharge and operate at their best.
So we can live our best lives.
You know, we talk a lot about the physical aspects of aging,
We do.
but I think Attia's emphasis on sleep and emotional well-being really highlights the importance of taking a holistic approach.
I agree. It's all interconnected.
He's really advocating for a paradigm shift in how we view aging.
Yeah, a new way of thinking.
He wants us to move away from this fear-based mentality
That aging is something to be dreaded.
and embrace aging as a natural process.
That we can navigate with intention and wisdom.
And that brings us to another often overlooked aspect of longevity:
What's that?
stress management.
Stress the silent killer.
You know, we hear all the time about how stress is bad for us,
We do. It's common knowledge.
but Attia really breaks down the science behind it,
Yeah, he gets into the details.
explaining how chronic stress can lead to elevated cortisol levels,
That's the stress hormone.
which can contribute to weight gain, insulin resistance, impaired immune function, and even accelerated aging.
Stress is literally making us older.
He doesn't just tell us stress is bad. He explains how it works on a physiological level,
Yeah, he makes it real.
which makes it all the more impactful.
It's hard to ignore when you understand the science.
And what I appreciate is that he provides practical strategies for managing stress, like mindfulness meditation, deep breathing exercises, spending time in nature, and cultivating strong social connections.
Those are all great strategies.
He acknowledges that stress is a part of life. We can't avoid it completely,
Right, it's inevitable.
but he emphasizes that it's about developing resilience,
And finding healthy ways to cope.
finding healthy ways to cope with the challenges we face.
Yeah, we need to build our stress tolerance.
He even discusses the potential benefits of certain supplements, like adaptogens for supporting our stress response system.
Adaptogens, those are interesting.
He emphasizes that supplements shouldn't be a substitute for healthy lifestyle habits,
Right, they're not a magic bullet.
but they could be a valuable adjunct to a comprehensive stress management plan.
Yeah, they can help.
It's all about taking a holistic approach.
Recognizing that our physical and mental health are interconnected.
And you know, it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the information out there about health and longevity.
There's a lot to digest.
But Attia provides a framework for making sense of it all
Yeah, he simplifies things.
and making choices that align with our individual needs and values.
It's about finding what works for you.
And that's what makes Outlive such a powerful and compelling read.
It's a game changer.
It's not just a book about living longer.
It's about living better.
It's about taking ownership of our health and well-being, making informed choices, and embracing a proactive and preventative approach to aging.
It's a blueprint for a healthier, happier life.
It's about living a life that is not just longer, but richer, more fulfilling, and more aligned with our values and aspirations.
That's a beautiful way to put it. You know, one of the things that really struck me about Attia is that he really walks the walk.
Yeah.
He doesn't just, preach from a textbook.
Yeah, he lived.
Lives and breathes these principles.
Yeah, he really does.
I mean, he's an avid athlete, meticulously tracks his workouts, pushing his physical limits.
Yeah, he's really disciplined about his diet and sleep, really prioritizing those foundational elements of health.
Yeah, and he's not afraid to experiment. You know, he's constantly trying new supplements, technologies, even medications
Oh, yeah.
in his quest to optimize his own health and longevity.
He really is at the forefront of this field.
He is a true pioneer,
Yeah.
pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's this combination of, deep knowledge, rigorous self-experimentation, and that relentless pursuit of better that makes Attia such a compelling figure.
Yeah, he's a role model for all of us.
Yeah, in the longevity space.
Absolutely.
He's not afraid to challenge conventional wisdom, question long-held assumptions, really push the boundaries of what's possible.
He makes us rethink everything we thought we knew about aging.
And he encourages us to do the same,
Yeah.
right? To become, informed advocates for our own health.
Take control of your health.
And to embrace that, proactive, preventative approach to aging.
Don't wait for things to go wrong.
Outlive is more than just a book.
It's a call to action.
It's a call to action.
A wake-up call.
It's a challenge to rethink our relationship with health and longevity, and to empower ourselves to take control of our own destinies.
It's about taking responsibility for our health.
Yeah, it's a reminder that aging isn't, this inevitable decline, but a process that we can influence and shape
We have more control than we think.
through our choices and actions.
Absolutely.
And while there are no guarantees in life,
Yeah. Right?
Attia offers a roadmap for maximizing our chances of living longer, healthier, and more fulfilling lives.
He gives us the tools and knowledge.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what stands out to you as the most impactful takeaway from Outlive?
For me, it's the emphasis on personal responsibility and empowerment. Attia doesn't offer, easy answers or quick fixes,
Right.
but rather a framework for understanding the complexities of aging
Mm.
and making informed decisions about our health and well-being
It's about shifting from that passive, reactive approach.
to a proactive, preventative one. It's about recognizing that we have more control over our health and longevity than we often realize.
And it's about embracing the journey, the
Yes.
constant learning and experimentation
It's an ongoing process.
that comes with striving to live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life.
It's a lifelong pursuit.
It's about viewing aging not as an enemy to be feared,
Right.
but as a process to be understood and navigated with intention and wisdom.
A natural part of life.
It's about taking ownership of our health destiny and becoming architects of our own longevity.
I love that metaphor.
And I think that's a powerful message for all of us, regardless of our age or current health status.
It is a message of hope and possibility.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that it's never too late to start making changes that can have a profound impact.
On the quality and length of our lives.
So for those of you listening,
Yeah.
what's one thing you're going to do differently after this deep dive into Outlive?
What action are you going to take?
Honestly, for me, it's reignited my commitment to exercise.
Oh, that's great.
Hearing about the incredible benefits of VO2 max and strength training, especially as we age, has really motivated me to step up my game.
I'm inspired.
I'm signing up for that half marathon I've been putting off.
Good for you.
I'm excited.
I'm inspired to try that technique of detaching behaviors from urges,
Oh, yeah.
especially when it comes to managing anger and frustration.
Yeah.
It's such a simple yet powerful tool, and I think we can all benefit from incorporating it into our lives.
I agree. It's definitely worth a try.